Samantha, how are we doing today?
Pretty good. I'm, still dealing with all the same issues.
So how's the job search going?
So I actually started getting some interviews.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna take this position. It's only part-time, which is kind of disappointing, but it's with Fred Hutchinson, which is this great public health agency, and I can probably, hopefully, swing it into a full-time job.
Use it as a stepping stone?
Yeah,
That's exciting.
so that's going great. You remember I told you about Chris, the guy I was kind of cheating on my boyfriend with, but wasn't really cheating on with him because he was on the internet, so there's no touching.
I recall. How's that going?
He came up to Seattle to visit, and we fooled around a little. We didn't have sex, but we fooled around a little, and I thought it would bring me clarity to see him and kind of like suss out if there was anything real there, but it was more confusing and a little disappointing than anything else.
In what ways? What caused the confusion?
Well, because we were making out and messing around, but it was hard to do that because I knew my boyfriend works so close to my house, and I was like, at any given moment, even though that's not really what Eric does, he could have totally just popped over and knocked on my door and saw how I was doing, and I just had a hard time dealing with that, and so I didn't feel like I was, I don't know, that I was.
You weren't being honest.
Yes. And Chris doesn't know about Eric, so it makes me feel awkward.
How did the rest of your time with him go?
It was easier driving around in the car with him than it was spending time one-on-one with him. And I don't know what about driving in a car makes talking easier, but I really enjoyed our car rides from our old neighborhood down to downtown Seattle and out to the airport and all that stuff.
Perhaps there's not a chance that anyone could bust in on your car ride.
Maybe. That would make sense.
So I know we talked about how in the last session, 2 sessions ago, that you expect complete honesty from other people, and yet you're being dishonest in this situation. When you were in your apartment fooling around, would you say that it wasn't the person you were with, it was the person who wasn't there?
Well, what do you mean by the first, like?
Were you more concerned about what was actually happening or what could have possibly happened?
I guess what would have possibly happened. I wasn't being present in the moment so much. That's why it wasn't so good.
Why do you think that you might have been concerned? Like, how would that situation have gone if he were to have walked in?
It would have been mortifying. I don't know what would have happened otherwise.
Do you think he would have yelled? Would he have been hurt? Would he have just turned around and walked back out?
He probably would have turned around and walked out. Eric's not really a yeller. Chris probably would have freaked out on me for not telling him I had a boyfriend though.
So you were being dishonest with 2 people?
Yes.
And you expect complete honesty?
Yes. I know I'm being a horrible person, but I just don't know how to figure out how I'm feeling any other way.
You're not being a horrible person. I mean, you're being a confused person. Your actions are not matching up to your day-to-day rules for living, quote. But you said the situation made you confused and you thought that it would bring you clarity, but it didn't. Let's talk about that. What clarity were you looking for?
If some type of clarity that I should pursue Chris over Eric, or if I really should be with Eric. I have been dealing with these issues for 6 years, or well, I guess not the entire time we've been together. So 5 years out of the 6 that me and Eric have been together, I've oh, he's perfect for me. Oh no, I hate him. Oh, he's perfect for me. Oh, I know this is never gonna work out, and somehow it just the nature of things. I just keep finding myself back in this. I don't think we're gonna be good together, but we're still together, so something's good. But there's a lot of anxiety about why we are together in my mind, and I just want some type of clear feeling that I am or not supposed to be with him.
Do you have these conversations with him?
We have in the past, but it's caused so much, caused so many issues that it's hard to bring up again. Because in the past, when I brought it up, he's like, "You're leaving me," and I'm like, "That's not the conversation I'm trying to have." And then he gets resentful and distanced towards me. And it takes a long time to like go back to normal.
So you just don't bring up the situation because it's a difficult one to have.
Yeah, and I don't think he's well equipped to handle it. He's just very much a thinker and an analytical guy, and so when it comes to feelings, I mean, he can do it, but he's more all over the place.
Do you feel like you're equipped to deal with it?
The conversation,
Having that conversation and exploring that with him.
yeah, the only thing is I can be kind of mean sometimes because if we are going to have this conversation, I am going to be really honest, and he tends to take that hard and cries. So I don't like doing that to him. But I feel like really it's my issue and I should figure it out.
And what kinds of action steps are you taking to figure it out if it is your problem?
Well, I thought kind of flirting with this guy or how this sort of kind of happened by accident, but serendipitously I thought maybe this will help me figure things out, and it didn't.
So you're looking for external reasons?
Yes, I guess. I didn't think about it like that, but yes.
It's not really working.
No.
So should we start focusing internally?
Where would we start with that? I don't know. I feel like I've been over this so many times. I have no more thoughts. I'm so confused.
Well, we can just continue to talk about it and see where the discussion goes. I mean, sometimes explaining it to a third person, non-biased party, just talking it out, not even necessarily my thoughts on the matter or opinions or anything like that, can give a person an idea, but it appears to me that my interpretation is that you like to be honest with other people. You said you're always very truthful, and that comes off as being mean, but you don't want to hurt the person. You expect other people to be completely honest with you, but now you've got this very big situation that is being dishonest, not only to those two gentlemen, but to yourself, right? So I want to know what you believe the end goal is with Chris.
Well, I've been thinking about this, and I sort of can see myself with him, but realistically, I know the logistics of that can't happen. But I feel so much more flirty and like myself when I talk to him in ways I haven't felt with Eric in a really long time.
Have you ever felt like you could be yourself in your relationship with Eric?
Not in a really long time.
At the beginning?
Yeah.
And what was that feeling like?
It was great, but I just was more adventuresome. We went out and did more things, and I think he kind of sold me a product that didn't exist, because when we first met, he was like, "Oh, I just came back from studying abroad. I went hiking in all these places. I did all these cultural exchanges." And he liked to volunteer, and there was all these things. But now it's like he doesn't even go hang out with his friends. I feel like all he does is stay at home, and it like drove me nuts because I'm an introvert, and he's an introvert, and if I'm the more extroverted of the introverts going, oh my god, why do you never do anything? I feel like this is a problem. He probably feels really harassed that I tell him he needs to find friends to hang out with.
What's keeping you with him?
Well, he was such a good guy in so many ways, and so I don't know if I'm settling for him or if settling for him would be the best idea. But he's really considerate, and he's taken good care of me through all my hardships with my back surgeries and graduate school. And he's kind of a feminist too, which is nice. He's not misogynistic and says dumb things, which is I appreciate.
So, if the situation with Chris helps you see that you're not meant to be with Eric, does that mean that you're meant to be with Chris, or is he just what happens then?
I think I would just have to break if I came to that clarity and me and Eric actually broke up, then I think I'd like to date, since Eric's like my first ever real boyfriend, because I've had some other relationships, but they were much more casual. Me and Eric have been together since I was 19, so that's a long time.
And if you just now you decided, bam, Eric, no more, it's over. How does thinking about that? What immediate feelings would come from that?
Guilt, since he just relocated to Seattle because this is where I wanted to be. But he did promise me that he wanted to go. He thought Seattle was a good city for him, regardless of me being there or not. But that still makes me feel guilty because he could have gone anywhere. Would make me feel really unstable because I can't really count on my parents, but I can always count on him. And I don't know. I don't even know what I would do with myself. But I think it would be fun to kind of explore who I am outside of him since I've been with him for so long. And I don't feel like I've been this more adventuresome self I have with him.
You didn't mention that you would feel sad.
Oh, I guess I just thought that was a given. I would probably mourn the relationship for sure. But since I have gone through all this time of like questioning it, it would probably be a little relieving and then really sad and then relieving. The same type of cyclical thing I've had in my relationship the entire time.
I just found the two feelings you mentioned were guilt and instability. And if we're thinking about the basis of a relationship, feeling not guilty and stable, is that a healthy foundation?
I mean, stable is probably part of a healthy foundation, but there should probably be other components.
Like what?
Well, have you ever seen that diagram where it's got about love, and on one side it's friendship, and on the other corner it's like passion, and the other side it's romance? Ideally, you would want to find three, but there's all those philosophers, I can't say it, philosophies out there that say that you normally only get two, and you kind of have to pick. And with him, I definitely have the friendship, but the romance and the passion has very much died out. So I guess in a foundation of a relationship, I would hope there'd be more of that.
Do you think you ever had that?
Probably, so we had been dating a year, and then he moved to California for a job, and he really didn't like it there, and it caused a lot of angst, and I feel like and then he came back after 9 months and moved back to Austin.